Digitalization of a hidden industry. Welcome to Breaking Down Barriers, where we hear from the builders and makers in the MENA region. Today we have Khalid Baareh, seasoned entrepreneur and co-founder and CEO of MealPlanet.
Thanks for having me.
Do you want to just give us a quick intro into who MealPlanet are, for those who don't know?
Sure. MealPlanet is very simple. We're actually two things. We're the meal plans delivery app, where we connect the meal plans customers with all the different meal plan providers in the country. That's one. Two, we are a lifestyle solution app. So it's not just about your meal plans, but it's also how it can help you with your lifestyle, from the wellness section and the calories and the macro and the micronutrients, goes further into health and wellness. But and we connect both with them at the same time.
Nice. And what do you mean by digitalization of a hidden industry? Sounds very secretive. And where are you fitting into that missing puzzle as well?
Sure. So I think the hidden industry is the subscription model or subscription-based food ordering. And subscription-based technology never existed. It's always been very, very, very basic. Meal plans has been in the region for the past 15 years, maybe a little bit longer, just a little bit, and has not been digitized. It's a big industry and it has massive potential. It reminds me of the restaurant delivery business back 15, 20 years ago. There was not really delivery. It was ad hoc. You got to call the restaurant. What's you're offering today? What's on the menu? What's the lunch special? And you got to give them the address. The driver calls you up. Hey, I'm lost. Take the second right, the third left. They don't have a change. And the food aggregators came in and they digitized the industry. And look what it is today, from nothing to roughly 35% of the food services industry.
Mm.
So that was a headed industry 20 years ago. And now look what it is today. I strongly believe that the subscription-based model for meal plans, where you order in advance for your week, for your month, for your 2 months, and you just don't have to worry about it. And a lot of customers, they want that for either health reasons or dietary preferences or simply convenience. The reason why it's not on the radar of the world today, or let's say the region, it's because it's not digitized. And this is where I identified this as a hidden industry. Luckily, I've had 8 years of experience in meal plans production, and I knew the potential of the industry and I knew how big it is. And I believe that if we introduce a marketplace that connects all the dots together, it will become, and we digitize it, it will become a big industry.
And just unpicking one part of that around the health element. So how are you as a business enabling that path to help people to live a healthier life through your platform and service?
Sure. So maybe we'll dig deeper into this at the end. But today, if you sign up with MealPlanet, and let's take a step back. I'm a customer who I want to lose weight, for example. I go and type weight loss meal plans, and get to see 200 different providers. I have to do my own homework. I have to, as a customer, so let's say you find 200 different brands. They offer weight loss meal plans. So they have 200 separate sales channels. And I have to, as a customer, contact each sales channel. Let's say I eliminate 50% of them. I have to contact 150. And then I'll have to ask a question. Okay, what kind of food do you offer? What's the pricing? And then let's say I selected one, which is very difficult to find because you're going to do a lot of homework, a lot of research. And then I didn't like the food. I have to call customer service. I don't like the food, but I'm stuck. The delivery did not arrive on time. I have to call customer service. I have to travel. Then I have to, call them or send them a WhatsApp or send an email to say, I'm traveling, please don't send my food. So This is where we come in. This is what I mean by digitizing. It's everything done through the app. The consumer is very spoiled. They want what they really want. They want it on time, and they just don't want to think about it. So that's part of what we do. You log in with MealPlanet and you look at weight loss category. You'll see all the brands in front of you with the pricing, with the rating, with the menu. And we've changed how the industry works. I'll talk about it later. But all that homework and research and contacting 100 different sales channels is done instantly on your phone. And you can make your decision in no time. So the health part and the health angle of it, it's what got me really excited. And my excitement about MealPlanet is actually split 50-50. 50% on aggregating or being a marketplace for the meal plans and digitizing the entire industry. But then we realized that we have a golden opportunity to focus on the health aspect. I'll tell you now what I mean by this. So today, all the wellness apps out there, they can track your steps, your sleep, your workout, your heart rate, your oxygen level, and they can recommend whatever recommendation. They can show you all the analytics, etc. The only thing that they cannot track is your food intake. It just simply doesn't exist. Now, there are some apps where you manually enter, and we've seen this movie before. We said earlier that consumer is spoiled. So some, very, very, very few, they go through the headache and entering their food intake, but it's not accurate still. So we've built the technology where all the meal plans that we provide connected with all the kitchens, and we have an accurate macros and micronutrients for all the food that we offer on the platform. So whatever our consumer, let's say I subscribe for this weight loss, and every day I get my food in the morning, everything is labeled with the nutrition facts, and it's automatically tracked in the app. Of course, we went over and beyond. If you ate half of your salad, you can reflect that. If you didn't eat the salad, you reflect that. If you cheated with something else, you can add it. So our goal from day one, we wanted to have that wellness or the food intake data to be the source of truth.
And that will start to be able to integrate into these smartwatches.
So that's the second step, which is happening right now. So what we focused at the beginning is to have this data. Like if a customer looks at their wellness page and MealPlanet, and if the customer doesn't trust this data, then we lost the battle from the health side. But we made sure that it's within 5 plus or minus 5%, which is very, very acceptable range. So we made sure that the customer today trusts this data. We trust this data. And that's where we play the game. That's where now, today on the app, I can look into my wellness page and I can see my food intake for the past week. I can see the trends. I can set my goals. I can see the fluctuation of my food intake and what I need. But go ahead.
I was going to say, and eventually you'll be able to then look at the both of those and integrate from a performance perspective. Say you're trying to run a marathon, whatever it might be. You'll be able to look at both the food intake and then your general training to be able to see areas that you need to kind of optimize and get better at.
That's actually a really good question. We thought about it a lot, and I decided not to do that. Why? I don't want to be another health app. I don't want to compete with Apple Health or Fitbit or Whoop. What we decided to do eventually is we're going to push the data that we have to your wellness app. So I'm wearing Fitbit now. It tracks everything we just mentioned. And MealPlanet will push my data to my Fitbit. So now Fitbit has the full picture. And that's what I mean by the missing piece of the puzzle. It tells me I burned 2,600 calories yesterday, but it doesn't tell me how much I consumed and what's the difference and what's the goal and what's whatever. So now we're pushing this data to Fitbit. Now it's the whole picture is available right in front of me. And I get to see how I performed, and then I adjust my calorie intake when I select my menu at MealPlanet. So it becomes a lifestyle solution. And that's where initially I told you we're a meal plan marketplace. Simplify, we use technology, we build technology to offer convenience, variety, and flexibility to our consumer. And by default, as you progress, you get to take care of your health and have a better understanding of your health, and you can make your decision. As we started this, Ricky, this journey of the wellness side, it became very interesting, the potential that we can actually take it further. I'll give you an example. So we realized that of the technology that we built between us and the kitchens, and it's fully connected with our back end, we get to track the micronutrients. So now, which is going live in Feb, this feature, you can go to your profile at MealPlanet and you can say, I have zinc deficiency. So the algorithm will take that and will automatically highlight and push the high items, the high zinc items, as the first option when you select your meals. And will tag it high in zinc, low in potassium, high in magnesium. We're not your doctor, we're not your health app, but we're here as a lifestyle solution to help you make the decision. So I'm really excited about this kind of part, because we're gonna take it even further. And instead, again, consumer is spoiled. So maybe the consumer does not want to go and say, I have zinc deficiency. Great, you do a blood test, we're integrated with whoever did the blood test for you, with their consent. So now, without you telling MealPlanet that you have zinc deficiency, we know you have zinc deficiency. So we're recommending items high in zinc, low in potassium, high in magnesium, whatever it is. So it's at the macro level, at the carb level, and later on, anyone with diabetes.
Amazing.
We push this data. You can know what happened, the spike, what's the spike, when to push low sugar item, high sugar item. So there's a lot to do.
And I like the customization as well that you talk about.
It's
very
fantastic.
personalized.
So again, I'm glad you brought the customization. So MealPlanet is a marketplace that connects all the meal plans in one place to use technology to offer convenience, variety, and flexibility to our customers. Technology will go further and will offer customization and personalization. This is our goal. And what do I mean by customization and personalization? We changed how the industry worked, Ricky, when it came to this. We previously, you had to subscribe for a month or 2 or 3, long-term commitment. You get to subscribe and then you get to select your menu. So it's a bummer if I subscribe and pay now and then the menu rotation is not what I wanted. So we've changed all of that. Today you signed up and you get to, you as a customer, customize your package. I want just lunch and a snack. I don't want this big packages and stuff, because I eat dinner with my wife at home, or I want every single thing and I want a snack, a dessert, a salad. I want the full package. You customize that. It's not that I'm forcing you to choose between 2 or 3 packages. I want it for 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. I want it for 1 week. I want it for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 8 weeks. Everything is customizable. Even the menu item itself. If you said, I don't want olives, so we use that technology, again, back because built with the kitchen, to give what the customer wants. You're no longer, as a meal plan customer, and that was one of the setbacks in the entire industry, like you end up sacrificing something. Like you end up getting an extra salad that you don't want, or paying for something they don't want, or subscribing for 1 month because that's the only option. So everything is customizable. And based on that, this is where the AI and the machine learning comes in, and we're very big at it. Based on that, we will understand your consumer behavior and build a profile to you. So today, if someone has been on the app before, I would say it takes 2 minutes from start to finish to subscribe to a meal plan. The first time, I would say 5 minutes. The goal is to reach 9 seconds.
Wow.
And based on the customization consumer value, we're going to personalize the experience for you. Today, I travel to Jordan to see my kids once a month, the last weekend of every month. Uber knows when I request Uber on Thursday morning, the last Thursday of the month, that I'm going to Terminal 3. When I'm going to dinner on a weekend, it knows I'm going to the IFC. And we want MealPlanet to know what you want. You're always avoiding cheese. You're always eliminating onions. You're always saying no olives, extra whatever. You get the salad and you have this kind of sort of brownies, whatever. We know what you want. And we want ultimately that you trust the app and you trust the technology, that all you have to do is reorder. Maybe one day I'll come to you and I say it takes 0 seconds. If just you have on the auto rotation and you trust it, you don't have to reorder anymore. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff happening for us, but we're very, very focused to ease the industry and make it very accessible and simple and digitize it to the customers. At the same time, provide a lifestyle solution that can help. And it doesn't exist today. That both parts don't exist. There's no subscription-based model aggregator in the market. Not here, not globally. Globally, they do, but it's ready to cook meal plans. It's not ready to eat, so it's a different model.
It makes sense, by the way, with what you're saying there, with like bringing the AI bots. Like, hi Ricky, you ordered this last month, same again, just through a WhatsApp message, and you just click yes, and then there we go, it's done.
Absolutely. You understand how this made our we have the solid tech stack to support it. And the fact that we can now train the tech stack to understand the consumer behavior has made our job a lot easier.
And big picture here, I'm all about helping the world, helping the planet. Would you say this technology is actually going to reduce food waste?
By default, yes, 100%. I was in the restaurant business previously in my last startup in the cloud kitchen space. And I would tell you that an average waste of a restaurant, a good restaurant, is between 2.5% to 4%. And that's a good restaurant, a good operating restaurant. It could reach 10% and 20%. With meal plans, since it's a subscription-based model, the kitchen is aware of the orders like a day and a half or 2 days in advance. The waste in meal plans kitchens is less than 0.5%.
Wow.
So imagine what the industry does to the waste and the sustainability of what we're doing. It's by default.
And you seem to have had quite a lot of success already in organic traffic. From what I understand, a little expenditure into marketing. How have you done that?
That's a very interesting question.
The secret ingredient.
Yeah, that's a very question. So we counted on the solution that we're doing. The CEO of Airbnb once said, build the right product to the first 100 customers and they will take care of the rest. And we did exactly that. We did.
You stole my question. That was it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, obviously, around like, do you focus on like early adopters who find value in your product and then they get the momentum going?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Really. Like we focus. Like if you, I know you downloaded the app. We've spent a lot of time on it. Spent a lot of time, and we went back and forth and back and forth. And I still argue with my team. We just introduced a new feature that you can customize your own package. It's going live on Monday. And when they presented to me, they said, okay, build your own package, and it takes them to another page. You send it and you hit okay and it goes back. It's like, why? Why do you want to go back to the next page and go back? Just give me like a small pop-up like dun, and it's all within the same page. I don't want to multiple clicks, etc. So we're focusing on that. We're building a product. And I call a lot of my customers, always. I've dedicated more time in the past, and I continue to do. And I really hear their feedback, and then we adjust based on their comments and what they want. If I saw like a few comments here, a few comments there, and a lot of people, like I asked, like, how did you hear about us? It's the organic growth. They said, oh, my friend told me about it. I love the app. I love the app. It's fantastic. It's great. If you can just give me this, give me that. So that was our initial strategy. We've managed to, within 5 months of operation, have 8,000 registered users on the app and 8,000 active users at the same time. It's actually 7,900 something active. This is fantastic. Like it's numbers I've never seen before. But now it's the second phase of marketing and promoting is where you've captured the current market, but now there's the untapped market, which is the massive potential and is going to create a huge impact. So that's a whole new story that we're focusing on digital marketing, performance marketing, different sorts of marketing that we need to be very creative at.
And do you think it's important to understand restaurant operations and customer experience to improve that service, to like really navigate what is a rapidly growing market in some aspects and competition as well?
So meal plans are not restaurants operations. They're not prepared from a restaurant. It's prepared and built to suit kitchens.
Yeah.
Where they produce the meals with proper chefs and dietitians and nutritionists behind them.
Premium.
So it's not the kitchen. That's where the quality. There's no really fried food. There's no really all that junk you see in a restaurant. And there is like one of like the previous like things that used to keep me up at night in the cloud kitchen space is like when I'm going to get a call about a food safety issue. Someone, God forbid, got food poison or there's an issue or I have to go to the police station and see what's happening. Luckily, it never happened. But it could happen because it's on-demand model where you have to, you have a grilled chicken with grilled chicken burger with fries. You got to prepare it within the next 6 minutes. So sometimes can be like you have 100 of that same order and you undercook the chicken. Not the case with meal plans. Meal plans, again, it's the industrial kitchens prepared. There's no that rush, so the food safety and food quality is a lot better.
And great product development usually hinges on obviously understanding user goals, founder engagement, simplifying tools for efficiency. How are you getting this right? Is it around user engagement? Is it respect for somewhat the competition, data-driven experimentation?
Yeah. So there is no competition yet. We're we're the first mover, and I'm really enjoying that first mover part. It just we set the trends and how it goes, but definitely user engagement. Luckily, I've been in the industry for the past 8 years, or I've been exposed to the industry for the past 8 years. And I know the challenges of the consumers. That's what we first started with. It's how to solve the current issues. How do we tell whether the existing meal plan subscribers or the future ones that it's actually very simple. It's imagine you're going to the app and subscribing for, let's say, a week, and you go to the office, and that question every day, like what I'm going to have for lunch, what I'm going to order. And you want to take care of yourself and take care of your health, and then you log into one of the food aggregators and, oh, that fries looks great. Okay, I'll have burger today. And it's just a temptation all over the place, and etc. So you don't have to ask yourself that question, and you're not jeopardizing the taste as well, and you're not letting go of the time. And let's say you have a meeting, you want the food now, the food is late, where's the driver? So all that is taken care of. So it's that convenience part. And by the way, it's not just about healthy. Like some people, like we have like Middle Eastern meal plans where it's not necessarily the healthiest, but it's convenience. I want to eat Arabic food, and I want to eat good Arabic food, and it's there for you. And some, it's not just about wellness; it's about dietary restrictions. I personally have lactose intolerance and gluten intolerances, so I just want to make sure I get it from a proper kitchen that is offer gluten-free meal plans and lactose-free meal plans. Some of them diabetic-friendly meal plans. So yes, consumer engagement, consumer behavior, my past experience on what's needed, and definitely keep calling our customers and having workshops around the next features and what we want to do. And the engagement when it comes to the health, man, it's just it's like it's next level.
Must be going through the roof right now in January with all the new positive intentions.
100%. It's again, we've been operational for the past 5 months, and we saw the seasonality of. I thought a big drop in December, but not really. But the January impact is very high and is very positive.
So I want to move over now to a bit more personal and Khalid, the entrepreneur. So the first question is, when is the right time to leave the corporate world and start your own business? Is there a right time?
I think so. I've been in the region for the past 18 years, and I've personally invested in roughly as an angel investor in like 25 startups, probably starting in 2011, and I've seen a lot of startups that go under, and very, very, very few that make it to the finish line. And before you even, my advice, personal experience, before anyone is ready to start their own startup and their own entrepreneurial journey, I highly recommend that you become an investor first. Invest in startups. Learn how to fundraise. Lose money. Invest small investments.
Yeah.
Some of this, like the investments I've done, they required millions of dollars, and I didn't have that money, so I created a consortium of my friends, and we got in as one ticket. Sat on the board of the biggest e-commerce platforms through our investments here, and I did prop tech, edutech, e-commerce, real estate, production, and I've learned a lot. Now, again, I personally have an advantage because I come from a consulting background and private equity, where we invest in something. Consulting, we all know consulting, but private equity, we acquired a hospital for 100 million, and we have to sell it for 400 million in 4 to 5 years, and we make our money if we sell it for the $500 million. But if we don't sell it for the 500 million, we don't make our money, our carry. So it was very, very specific that we had to reach a target, and we have to plan and work backwards and change management if needed, get enough funding. So I've had that experience on how to scale a business, but not a lot of people do. If someone is top-notch technology person and he has a great idea, how do you raise funds? How do you hire the best talent? How do you overcome the challenges? You're a great technology provider, but you're missing a lot. Then you have to get the right team, but you never get it right from the get-go. So invest in other startups. Go through the cycle. And I think if you have kids, teach them how to invest early on as well. That's what I'm planning to do with my kids. Small tickets here and there, and then let them fail, let them understand, and then learn from their failure. And that will create some sort of strength from that experience where you don't fail. I see it very difficult. Okay, very, very difficult. Someone who just never done it before, and they wake up one day, have a great idea. Okay, great, I'm going to risk it and go for it. Very challenging.
And you have a degree in industrial engineering, technology, computer science has continues to evolve in the last few decades, and now with the acceleration of AI. How important for you is it as a founder to understand technology or surround yourself with the right people, especially when you're building a really technology-enabled business and innovating in this space as well?
It's either or. Either that you have the knowledge and the know-how, and you keep yourself up to date with all what's happening in the world, or you surround yourself with the people who do. In my case, is the latter. I surround myself with people who know how to do it. All my network and friends that I hang out with, have dinner, go to birthday parties, stuff. They're all CEOs and founders and investors, VCs, PEs, and they always keep me on my toes. And if I have a challenge, I pick up the phone, I bounce ideas, and they're really great help. So
a good support mechanism and sounding board always.
100%. And I don't think of it as a support, yes, but I think about it as also like to enhance myself, always enhance, they keep me up to date. I keep them up to date on now it's the food delivery business, but they're doing the e-payments and the edutech, and we talk about like, so we're fully aware of the surrounding and what's happening. So you gotta surround yourself, but you gotta surround yourself within your own startup. And I live by two rules, Ricky, from the previous startups that I've even managed or invested in. Two rules that are very, very critical for me. That I know, of course, being an entrepreneur and hungry and open-minded and ready for the blood, sweat, and all that stuff, and have a very solid mental health and ready. Not bad news that are gonna break you. Those are the no-brainers. Like if you don't have that personality and to drive a team, it's not for you. But I live personally with my experience with two rules. The first rule is A+ team only. I remember you came to my office before, and it's really like written there. It's like A+ team. I don't have time to deal with someone who's not A+. Startup is a very fast-paced moving business, and a lot of challenges. You're going to make the decision on the spot.
Easier said than done, though, right? With A players. And I always say it to people, you don't hire A players to tell them what to do. You hire them for them to tell you what to do, right?
100%. You don't understand how important this is. Yeah. You don't understand how important it is, because a founder cannot make all the decisions, and it's not gonna. The business is not gonna grow, and you gotta have the right team. And you never, like, I've changed 3 engineering teams at MealPlanet already. Again, we've been operating or building the tech for the past year and a half. But if it's not working, you gotta let go and bring the top-notch talent. That's gonna make your life easier. Today, I just, maybe I want to cry when I say, like, the team we have is top-notch. They know what we do. We agree. That's what we're going to do, whatever. And we meet every Monday. We've reached that stage already. And we strategize, update each other, and hasta la vista. So that's the rule number one.
I'm going to elaborate just on that, because I know founders would like, let's say, so how do you identify A players?
Yeah.
Do you have a killer question? Is it synergies? I know from my side what it is, but like from your perspective, like maybe what have you learned from the mistakes? And how have you executed on that before you move to your rule number 2?
You will always make mistakes, and this is why we work with you to get the top-notch talent. You have to ask. You got to see the harmony between you and whoever. Let's say you're hiring for a CTO. You got to see the harmony. It might be a completely different style, different. So I'm very aggressive, hopefully in a good way, and focused, and let's go mentality. And my CTO is super chilled, balances out. It balances out, and we really have this amazing harmony. And I really like it, but it's not enough. He's competent. I admire everyone who's not afraid to ask for help. I admire someone, if you don't know to do something, like we have advisors, we have friends, we have surroundings. Let's ask for them. If you don't have an advisor, let me know. I'll get you one from my network. So don't be afraid to say, oh, I'm a CTO, but I don't know how to do this, or I've never done this before. Ask. It's not, okay, let me see how it goes. Why cutting corners and then we have to pay for it later? Most of the time it's not going to work out. Most of the time you think you nailed it and you have the best talent, and it's not going to work out. So in my previous startup, I did make a mistake where I knew it's not the right talent in that position, but I didn't have an alternative, and I waited for a very long time to replace it. It was swamped all over the place.
So was that like right person, wrong seat, or just a complete imbalance in?
Complete imbalance. It was like, it looks like from the get-go that it's the right person in the right place. But once you start like discovering mistakes and no transparency on the mistakes, tell me I screwed up. It's okay. We all screw up. And not before we move to the second, I'll tell you something why about this. My own opinion, failure is due to many things, but it's also mainly due to the lack of identifying risks early on and mitigating against the risk. So let's say the market collapsed. Oh, the market collapsed. What can I do? You did not plan for a scenario where the market collapses. The market did not pick up or whatever reason happened. You did not plan for it. My style is when I go to the board is either we didn't make it, we failed, we'll try to improve, or that's it. We reach our KPIs, we reach our targets. And I like the latter. I don't like the first one because it's you got to identify the risk and you got to mitigate against them all the time.
Have you always been like that, or has that been what you've learned?
Always. From the consulting job, from the private equity, that we got to sell it to make the money. And okay, what if it goes this way? What if it goes this way? So identifying the risk and being very serious about it. If it's a risk, you got to have the plan.
Do you think it's also important though to create an environment that is all about failure and experimentation, because that is how you drive a successful business to a certain extent?
Not necessarily, personally. I not necessarily, because that's gonna. It's mindset is everything to me and the team that I'm trying to like give them that attitude. Not just like failure. Like we will fail, but it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. As long as you identified a possibility of a failure, and then what's gonna happen if you do. And that takes me to the second point that I live with. Is where I always raise money when I don't have to.
You said that when we met. I think it was the first thing I was like about being a successful entrepreneur. Always raise.
Yeah. No, not always raise. Always raise when you don't have to.
You do. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, always raise. That's
always raise when you don't have to. That was it.
Yeah. When you don't have to. And the reason for that is, again, funny enough, like let's say, we identify risk. The market could collapse anytime. What if the market collapses and we don't have enough funding to sustain us for a long time? Then it's not a good idea, and we're most probably going to shut down. When you go to the market, of course, you got to have the results and you got to have the numbers. And that's another risk that I always look at it. And we're going to make sure that we have the numbers. So we're going to the market again in August. So we're going to prepare in May. So from January to May, we're going to 10 times our revenue. And we have this 5-month window to make it happen, to get a successful raise. And when we go to the market, we will have a runway of 12, 14 months. So we're under no pressure to deal with investors or VCs that they might take advantage that you don't have much runway. And they might not take advantage, but it sends the wrong signal that this business has 4 months, 5 months runway. And then that will impact your valuation, that will impact your terms, and that's when you start losing control of the business. So raise it when you don't have to. Of course, don't over raise because of the dilution impact and others. But I always raise when we're comfortable, and we make sure that we have 2 years of runway, and it's easier said than done. 2 years of runway, and then when we have a year and a half, we start preparing, and right before we hit 12, 14 months of runway, we go to the market and raise. But again, you have to have the numbers. You have to have the team. You have to have proof of concept ready. You have to show the potential. Funny, the market has changed, and that's part of the networking. It's now profitability is very important, and they don't ask you to be profitable from year 1 or year 2, but they want to see the path to profitability. So you got to be aware of their surroundings and what your investors want and what they're looking for, what KPIs, what matrices they look for. Is it the revenue? Is it the profitability? Depends on the industry you're operating in.
And on that, so what advice would you have for entrepreneurs then to actually just set themselves up for success from day one? The reason why I asked that is, for those who don't know, you've obviously built, scaled, and exited a company with a clear plan. And sometimes that's the grey area of not setting yourself up with the right, I suppose, fundamentals.
Right. So it's the everything we've discussed so far is critical. Surrounding yourself with your team, having the proper funding, having the right personality, had previously invested in other startups. You've seen failures, you've seen success. You're not giving it your first shot and you have no idea how to raise funds. You got to be really, really comfortable as a founder with the financial acronyms, with what's a P&L, what's a balance sheet, What's the valuation? Different ways of valuation. Like if you don't, they're gonna eat you for lunch. But let's assume that you have all of these attributes. Then it's planning and identifying risk. So funny enough, in the previous startup, the last one on the seed round, when I had a presentation, I said the value of Icon is X in 2021, X in 2022. And when we exited in 2021, it was X plus 10 million. And it's no luck. And it's no coincidence. It's broken down by targets, by KPIs. And again, funny, it all comes to the same point. So we identified risk. So we had monthly and quarterly plans and targets, and I didn't count on a single plan to get there. But what if this plan doesn't really work? Again, we're all learning and trying to do something here. So you have plan A, plan B, plan C, and you plant a seed very early on for plan B and plan C. So let's say plan A worked. So this seed that you've planted for plan B, it's going to help you in the next quarter. And the seed you planted for plan C helps you in the next quarter. You have to think this way. You have to think, you cannot be firefighting. It's the best approach. And I tell my team, especially my growth team, there are two ways we can do it. It's either we can firefight and every month, let's reach our target, let's do it, let's, and we're all busy and scrambled everywhere. Or the other option is, okay, how about we turn down the growth a little bit? We're not going to onboard that many brands. If we reach a certain number of subscription for a brand, we put them on a waiting list. Isn't that a much better way? And is it? And we're started to get there. It's where, okay, because I know you don't want to go on a rocket growth and then just be flat in the future. Like you need to have, let's say, a hockey stick growth where sustainable growth, and it's very interesting and appealing to the eyes of the VCs that's going to come in the next round. But it's not easy. It's very difficult. I rather work on the latter, where we have to slow down growth and have a lot of options, different plans. And we planted something before we actually went live in August. We planted something from last May. We started working on it, and it's actually going live on January 24th. And imagine the fact, and back to planning, that we started now. It took us 6 months to take this project live, and we know it's going to be a huge success. Imagine I want to start now. So it's going to go live in July, and then everyone's traveling and it's not going to get the success. And I'm actually raising funds then, and we're not. So it's all about planning. And
you definitely already have it written down who's acquiring MealPlanet or
Oh,
whatever
of
it might
course,
be.
of
It's already
course.
written on a bit of paper for sure.
course.
I was trying to look on your whiteboards. I couldn't see it, but definitely somewhere.
I actually turned down a potential acquirer to come in at the seed round. They wanted to come in, and I said no, because if you come in now, that means I have to exit to you on your own terms. So maybe the next rounds where we get 2 or 3 of them. But of course, yeah, we do.
What advice then do you have or learn in around acquisition? Because I'm sure you learned a lot the first time. That will bring it into this, hopefully the second time.
Yeah.
Especially like those founders that are going to be going through that, hopefully, in the Middle East in the next.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh wow, that's a tough one, Ricky. That's a really, really tough one. I've luckily been around a lot of exits in my life, more than 30, 40 exits, either professional or personal. And each one is different, and each one is so difficult because you got to manage a process, and each process is different. And I remember my last startup, like when we signed an exclusivity on a deal to start the due diligence, etc. The due diligence team from the acquirer team, there were like 42 people.
Wow.
And
It's an army.
It's an army. Tech due diligence, financial due diligence, operational due diligence, financial due diligence. It's insane. It's insane. And if I'm an investor and I'm running a due diligence and I look at the founder and I see some sort of incompetency, although you're a founder and CEO and you're really not that techy or not into operations or not into finance or whatever, if I see a weakness, that's a turn off. If I'm asking you a question, you don't have an answer, or you make up an answer, that's a weakness. So with that process, it was nerve wracking, because I was just meeting with advisors, 42 people, and but luckily I was involved from the ground up. I've seen other exits fail due to that, and then so the advice is invest in other startups.
Back to invest, just to get
see
that.
how it goes, see what it is, see the challenging part, because you can only learn from your experiences, especially if you've never done it before.
And when it comes to, for you then, like setbacks and dealing with that emotional toll of entrepreneurship, I was surprised the first time I met you. Not surprised, we haven't met before, but you were just full of life, full of energy. And startup and founder life and entrepreneur is so hard. It's so hard, and you've already done it once.
I've done it more than once.
More than once, multiple times.
Yeah.
And you're back again.
Yeah.
So like, I think that would be important for people to understand the coping mechanisms and how you deal with it. Or have you had setbacks? Of course you have.
Of course. It's I think it's a personality. It's a blessing. It's maybe definitely you can improve. Again, part of my network and friends, I've seen them always stressed and nervous, and I really understand why. And you should be. That shows commitment. That shows awareness of what's happening. But unfortunately, it can dominate sometimes that thought of what if. If it was easy, no one would have. Everyone would have done it. So you have to, in that sense, to make sure that you're exposed, you know what you're doing, ask for help when needed. And it did happen to me once. We were growing like there's no tomorrow. I was personally on the cover of Forbes magazine, me and my co-founder. And I went to the IFC, I saw Forbes magazine. I didn't know that I'm going to be on the cover. And I saw all these printed copies and everyone. It's me and my co-founder. And we were growing. We've in no time reached 1,000 employees and 2 countries, multiple kitchens, etc. And life was fantastic. And I was about to launch, we launched Series A. And I got the commitments from all the investors. They were just throwing money at us. And then COVID hits. And I was like, okay, funding, please. And everyone said, oh, we'll just wait. Let's see how it goes. We were burning a lot of money back then. And the early investors were saying in all the board meetings, go, grow at any cost. We got your back. Go. And we did go. And then COVID hit. And we had the one and only month of drop in sales. I remember it was April 2020.
Did the same people still have your back?
No. They didn't say no. They said, let's wait and see what happens. And I don't blame them, man. It's the world was going crazy. Roads were shut, etc. And Ricky, I collapsed. I really collapsed. I was crying like a little baby. I went home and I was crying, and I didn't know what to do. And I went and I saw a psychiatrist the next day, and he helped. And I went to the board. I was like, guys, what are we gonna do? What's happening? So
was that because of fear of like failure, or was it sort of your own personal well-being, impact on employees? Like, was it just a combination of everything?
It's a combination of everything, and everything was important. So I was really like, when I went to bed, I was like, oh wow, I'm gonna fail. What are people gonna do? Not do? What are they gonna think? Am I ever gonna get another chance? Are they gonna understand it's COVID and the market has collapsed, the world has collapsed? Or what's gonna happen? I have a lot of employees. Again, I'm telling you, 1,000 employees. how I'm going to pay for their salaries. We had like a 3-month runway because we were about, the round was pretty much closed. How I'm going to pay the salaries? Are they going to go to the labor department? We have suppliers to pay. We have rent to pay. It was just insane. So it's a combination of things. Am I going to go to jail? Because we were signing all the checks. So the board members suggested that we close a lot of kitchens, we let people go, and we cut cost and try to extend the runway for a few more months. And deep down inside, Ricky, I knew that if we do that, we will never get the investments that we wanted. It's a drop in sales. The market is collapsing. Why would I invest in this company? And if they do invest, then it's going to be a whole new valuation, a whole new terms. It's pointless. So what we did is we used that money that we have left to double down. A lot of real estate was up for rent, and a lot of good talent was out there. They were let go. So we doubled down, and I think we grew like 4 or 5 times in May, and similarly in June. Maybe there's a little bit of luck there where people got tired of just washing their groceries and sanitizing them, and they just wanted to eat. They were taking all the precautions still. And we closed the round in July.
Wow.
On the same terms, on the same valuation, on the same everything. It just because it was a dip here, but look at the growth. And then
was there like a light bulb moment there, and obviously that focus and doubling down, and obviously you came out the other side, right?
When I saw the numbers, I saw the light bulb. Yeah. When I saw the May 2020 numbers, then yes, I was excited. Let's go. But again, they said like, how far do we want to go? We only have 2 months of runway now, but it worked very well.
And do you feel like nothing can break you now from that learning?
I wouldn't say that. I wish I can say that. Of course, it can. And what I do to avoid anything that can break me is plan for it. Yeah. And I take this, Ricky, very, very, very seriously. I brainstorm with myself. I brainstorm with my team. Let's say like we have a plan for everything. What if the tech just collapsed now? What if the payment gateway did not do this? What if this right here? What if we had an issue with this? What do we do? What if the numbers? What if the growth? What if a new competitor came in now? Although I wish, because we're educating the market on what, other than the existing meal planners, like what a meal plan is. So yeah, but we're ready. And the more we plan for it, the more I feel, the stronger I feel, of course.
And what's your view then on the VC ecosystem here in the MENA region, and how everything's going to evolve over the next 3 to 5 years as well?
I think it's evolving very, very nicely. The VC today is not the VC that we had back in 2015, not the same VC that we had in 2020. I've dealt with a lot of them, and they're actually very, very supportive. Once they're in, they might be very difficult coming in, but once they do, they're very supportive. Some of them are just passive, for sure. But
do you think it's important as well on that with your learning to pick the right investors for your need and for your purpose as a business? Because some may need more active investors than others, right?
Yes and no. Because you cannot know unless you ask your network.
Yeah.
Unless you're surrounded with the good people. There's a very, very well-known, top-notch VC here that I took a meeting just for the sake of taking a meeting. But deep down inside, I knew I'm not gonna, no matter what they do, they're not coming in. I know how difficult, how they're block things just for the sake of blocking. I've been exposed to that myself. Like we were onboarding a very well-known VC back in the days, and one of the VCs, the existing VCs, had a veto right, and they blocked it for no reason. So I just waited until we closed Series A, got that investor out of the board seat, and then I got the other VC. So you gotta be into the ecosystem and with the network. But the vast majority of VCs are fantastic, and now they're raising more funds. They're focusing on tech, and they're getting. We're hearing beautiful exits every here and then, every now and then. But also, there's a lot of failures that we don't hear about. So. I love the VC ecosystem, and I believe in the next 3 to 5 years it's going to be we're going to catch up with the West for sure.
Okay. Well, look, moving to the final part, quick fire questions as well. So you're a numbers man. It's very clear, data, metrics, 3 of the key components that are most important for you to run a successful company when it comes to numbers, metrics, data.
So it's always, unfortunately, your growth numbers, whether a top line or number of orders, unfortunately, because sometimes you get like look at Amazon, for example. They were like at losses for 20 years, and now they just start making a profit. But what saved them is the numbers, the growth, or the profitability. So this is your typical KPIs that you look at. So if you're profitable and you're growing slowly, that's fine, but you're no longer valued as a startup or a VC of your growth potential. And the market has changed. We just discussed it earlier, that the market now, they look for profitability. Deep down inside, I don't want us to reach profitability for the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
We can if we want, but it's not what we're intending. I want to use all this money to grow, accelerating growth. So it's growth. Growth gives you power on fundraising. Growth gives you confidence as an entrepreneur. And growth will allow you to recruit better talents. So you're in the business, and if I want to hire the CTO of whatever, big top shot, and they come and there's no growth, we're a small company, they're not going to be interested. Yeah. So I think growth is very, very important. But you got to look at cash flow. Yeah. Cash flow is very critical. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's the first reason why company fail. It's funding and cash flow. You always have the budget, you always estimate, but you always end up spending more, and you get carried away because you want to reach the growth. So cash flow is very critical. Yeah. Know your burn, know your runway, be on top of that. Yeah. Because if you don't know it, also hasta la vista, it's gone.
Yeah. So look, if people trust you after this interview, this might send your numbers through the roof. So if you want to become a superstar founder, what MealPlanet do you come on and choose?
What MealPlanet you come and choose?
Yeah. Which one would you pick?
Which meal plan?
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot be biased again. It's I treat everyone on the same level, but I would recommend go to the app, and you can see all the ratings, and you can see all the prices based on your budget and based on your requirement, and you see a lot of 5 stars, you see a lot of 2 stars, 4 stars, so you get to select what you want.
Yeah. What's one piece of advice you have for entrepreneurs to deliver exceptional experiences and personal touches to actually enhance their brands?
Listen to your customers. I keep telling my team always, almost every week, we're a consumer-centric business. We're a product-led company. And no matter what we do, we have the best brands out there, or we have the best lifestyle solutions out there, and we solve the biggest problems in the world. If we don't have a customer, we don't have a business. So whatever business it is, you got to take care of your customer.
Yeah. What 3 things should founders do to ensure effective leadership with their team?
Proper reporting, it's number 1. Proper plans, number 2. And I would say targets. So on the glass board that you saw all over my office, there's a section that I have, and I find it very, very, very efficient. Weekly targets. We agree on things, we write it down. I don't forget, not yet, but when they see it in front of them, we know, and the attitude internally within the office, if that thing is written on the board for now, it's January 20th that we're meeting on Monday, then we move mountains to make it happen.
Yeah.
Mountains. A target is well respected. And of course, sometimes, but I don't want to see it often. It's okay, things happen, but target is a target, and we do move mountains to make it happen. And that not just allows us to reach a target; it's the mindset within any entrepreneur who wants to lead a team. The mindset that We have a target. We respect it. I push back on, I don't set up a list. And I'm not sure if that's a bless or curse. I honestly don't. Let's say we're doing a pitch to a big deal or something. I would send it back 10, 15, 20 times. I don't care. If I'm not convinced with it and it's not to the same standards and what we present and what we want to achieve, I push back. And I could see why someone said, okay, fine, good enough. But good enough does not create success, in my opinion. And so those are like 4 now, not 3.
And then lastly, is there one thing outside of being founder, entrepreneur that you recommend to the audience to do? It, yoga, climb a mountain, something that helps with your coping mechanism.
I'm the worst when it comes to this this advice because I'm guilty that I need to take more time. I'm working out in the morning, but Friday comes, I'm toasted. I'm brain fried. And I shouldn't be that way. I used to be active on the weekends, go to the beach and stuff. I still do every once in a while, but it's not. I'm not as active.
Yeah.
And that's a piece of advice. The second piece of advice is like be down to earth. Like I go make my guests coffee. I walk them to the elevator. I treat the driver better than I treat my CTO. Not better, the same. It's that personality, and you cannot fake it.
Yeah, I agree.
If you get to be a successful founder and CEO, and you have money and the business is doing well, it will get into you, and you will change. I hope that to keep it very simple. Be precise, be aggressive, be whatever, but always respectful, and it will happen.
I agree. Well, look, thank you for joining Breaking Down Barriers. It's been a pleasure.
This is really fun. Thank you so much, Ricky. We'll see you around for sure.
Amazing.